You know that feeling where you are just passionate about so many things. You're gifted, you're talented. There's a lot of different directions or paths and different kinds of steps that you can take to bring this dream to life and this calling to life and this idea to life and this business over here and this book over here. And all of a sudden, we're looking around and we're like, whoa, I am one heck of a multi-passionate person. How gifted am I? What is that common phrase that everyone uses, or I should say that Gen Z uses? I love that for you. I'm gonna just say that. I love that for you. I love that you're multi-passionate. I love that you're talented. But let's talk about the frustrating part that comes with being a multi-passionate person, because I know what that's like. That frustrating part is knowing which path do you take right now out of all the options, out of all of the ideas, out of all of the choices. Which ones do you make right now? Which passion do you pursue right now? Which calling do you go all in on right now? How in the world do we just choose one thing? That is the most frustrating part about being multi-passionate. How do I choose one thing? And how do I know if that one thing is the exact one thing that God wants me to choose? What is God asking me to do? What route do I even go on in the first place? Whew, heavy questions. And I am a firm believer that the deeper we try to find answers to those questions, the more we end up frustrated, because we end up not really finding answers and just going in circles with these questions, driving ourselves insane, and then just deeming it as, you know what, we're just multi-passionate. It is what it is. I guess I'll just pursue all the things. I want this episode to give you some clarity and some sort of peace in your mind when it comes to which path to take. Which passion do you go all in on? What do you do when your mind is giving you so many different options of things to do? So let's talk about how to get clear so that you can focus, you can have that tunnel vision, and you can do what God is calling you to do right here, right now. If this is your first time here, welcome, my friend. I'm Angel Marie. I am your host of the God Empowered Entrepreneur podcast, where we talk all things mental, emotional, and physical when it comes to being a creative entrepreneur and doing what God is calling you to do in business, in ventures and ideas, and everything that comes with it. Quick backstory. I am a multi-passionate person, and I know that you and I can relate to each other in that way. Not only am I a Christian life and business coach, but I am also a content creator on podcast, YouTube, and social media. I also love real estate. I study wholesaling. I run an Airbnb. I have this idea one day to write a book. I have this other venture I want to pursue over here. I love to speak on stages and want to do that more, yada, yada, yada. I am just a lot, all right? I'm a dreamer, and so are you. And one of the toughest things that I've had to discover, or a learning lesson, I should say, is that I can't pursue all the things at once. This is really difficult for dreamers like you and me to let go of, because we're dreamers and we're aspiring to reach that. So we're going to be determined. We're going to be hardworking. We're going to be creatively thinking all the time to put those puzzle pieces together in order to make up that big puzzle, that big vision. But when you pursue all the things at once, not only do you set yourself up for burnout because you are overextending your own capacity, your own mental weight of figuring out so many things at once, but at the same time, you also end up being disorganized and inconsistent. You're doing too much. So it's difficult to try to remain organized and consistent in all the things you're trying to do right now. And I know you can relate to that. That's why you clicked on this episode. My goal for you is to get the confidence and clarity you need to do what God is calling you to do. And that clarity has a lot to do with getting focused And getting focused has a lot to do with dropping all the shiny objects and all the things you could do and all the things you're passionate about right now and just focusing on what God is calling you to do in this current season. So let me break down 3 things, 3 pointers that can help you get that kind of clarity so that you can calm the never-ending noise in your mind, get hyper-focused, and take progressive, successful steps in doing what God is calling you to do right now. First thing, and the most obvious, pray about it. I know, it's self-explanatory, but do not skim over what I just said. Do not hit that fast forward button where you're watching this podcast on YouTube or listening to it. Do not hit that fast forward button. Stick with me. Pray about it. Maybe you already do, but how often, how consistent, and how patient are you as you pray about it? Asking God to give you certain clarity over all of the things. And I'm not just talking about a basic prayer like, hey, God, you know I'm multi-passionate. What do you want me to do tomorrow? What do you want me to do right now? I'm not really sure. You tell me. I'll just wait for you to give me an answer. No, I'm talking about talking to God like he's your business partner. Hey, God, here's all my ideas. Here's all my businesses. Here's all of the steps that I think I could take. Here are my big dreams. Here is what I want to accomplish before I leave this earth. Hey, God, here's all the specifics. And just talk to him like he's not just your God, your Lord, your comforter, your provider, your everything. A part of that everything is also him being your business partner. So talk to him. Now, here's what I want you to avoid. Just because you talk to him doesn't mean that you should wait for an answer from him before you move forward. This is something that a lot of us do. We just are in limbo, in the waiting season, waiting to hear what God has to say, when a lot of times he's waiting on you, my friend. He wants you to take a leap of faith, an act of trust, and move forward, and just allow him to pivot and guide you where necessary. Now you might be thinking, okay, Angel, well, if God might not give me specific answers, and if the solution is for me to just move forward anyway, then why do I need to say all of these very specific prayers about it? Well, because the point is inviting God in. If you practice inviting God in now, in the midst of your confusion, your doubt, the clarity you don't have, then you build up that habit to keep him invited in along your journey throughout the entire process of you pursuing your God-given calling with confidence. And with God being invited in every single step, you are standing on a firm foundation. You're setting yourself up for success, to be consistently confident, consistently hyper-focused, consistently comforted, consistently okay, consistently provided for, consistently growing in your faith and your trust in Jesus, because you've invited him in and you are positioning yourself as someone who trusts him, not just yourself with your calling, but him with your calling. The habits start now. So invite him in, be specific, pray about it, dump it all at his feet. I promise you, he wants that. He wants you to talk to him. And a lot of times he'll give answers through words in your mind, through what you read in the Bible, through meditative moments that you're doing with him. There are a lot of times where those answers will come. But like I mentioned, if you're still not really clear and you're not sure, move forward and trust God anyway, and allow him to pivot you where needed. And that was the first thing. Pretty self-explanatory, but I gotta say it because a lot of times we just need to be reminded over the most powerful thing in the entire world, which is prayer, my friend. Your strongest weapon, your best solution. Second thing that I'll say, you need to get out of your own head in thinking that you need to stick to just one thing forever. Let me say that again. Stop thinking that you need to stick with one thing forever. I think sometimes we get concerned with just staying focused on one thing because we're worried that that one thing is going to be forever. And what about our other dreams? What about our other aspirations? What about this other venture? We almost get paralyzed because of that. And that causes us to just want to do everything at once because we just want it now. We don't want it down the road. We want it right now. We want all the things now. But I need you to realize everything is in seasons. Just because you get hyper-focused on one of your passions now, something you feel called towards, does not mean that the rest of your passions don't matter or that they fall to the wayside and you never pursue them. That's not what that means. It just means that right now, in this season of your life, you're hyper-focused on building this one thing, doing this one thing, going all in on this one thing. Allow God to grow you in that one thing. And as you do over time, that one thing could then pivot into other passions that you've had or turn into other things that become opened doors. You never know. But a lot of times as multi-passionate people, we need to remember that we have time, God willing. We don't need to rush to complete and achieve all the things. Get hyper-focused, get really good at that one thing, and then have hope, have joy at the potential future of pursuing those other things later on if it is in alignment with what God is calling you to do in that future season. I want to give you a funny analogy. Think about your favorite pizza spot. I mean, the best pizza. Anytime you crave pizza, you think about that pizza spot. I don't care if it's even Domino's, okay? I know some people that are obsessed with Domino's. If it's Domino's for you, then it's Domino's. Your fave pizza spot, think about it. Now I want you to think about those other restaurants you've been to or you've driven by, where they have not just pizza, but everything. They got pizza, they got seafood, they got burgers, they got Mexican food. I mean, they're a jack of all trades. Pizza at a place like that isn't gonna be good. Isn't gonna be as good as your favorite pizza spot that specializes in just serving pizza or Italian foods. There's a reason for that. The pizza spot that is known for pizza or Italian foods, they became known for that. They became good at that. They're skilled at making pizzas that are just delicious. Versus the other restaurants, they're trying to make good food in all the different types of cultures and types of food and giving more people options and yada yada. But it's not all that great. It's just okay. The same could be said for you. If you try to focus on too many things at once and do too many things, if you try to focus on way too many things at once, then you are setting yourself up for being someone who is just okay at these things. You're decent. Versus if you get hyper-focused right now and get really good at one thing, it's the season right now, the calling right now that matters. Let the future unfold in the way that it needs to based off of what God could be calling you to do next. But again, that's the key word, next, not right now, next. Last thing that I want to say. When it comes to getting clear on what you should be doing right now as a multi-passionate person, how to choose, how to figure it out, I want you to ask yourself, what is in alignment right now? What seems to be making divine sense right now? The ideas you're having, the conversations that you're having with people, things that are on your heart, something that just kind of lights a fire in you that you maybe weren't expecting. What is kind of all aligning those things together right now where it's like, whoa, this could be it. This is making sense when it comes to my passion and what I should be doing right now, the calling I should be walking in right now. Think about that. Because a lot of times as multi-passionate people, we're so in our head about all our dreams and thoughts and ideas and paths that we don't spend enough time thinking about where we're at currently and what is going on around us. That just kind of feels like it's in alignment right now. Now, I want to be really clear with this. I had a really great conversation with someone on the team of a client that I took on, and she had said, people think that being in alignment means that you are in your comfort zone. That is false. And I thought that was so powerful because it's true. We live in a society that is constantly thinking about self. What feels good to me? What is in alignment with me and my beliefs and what I want? But very little do we realize that we are tricking our own selves to staying in our comfort zone because we only want to do things that feel good or feel quote unquote in alignment. Just because something is in alignment with you does not mean that you're just going to be staying in your comfort zone and be super cozy in your little corner. No, being in alignment still requires for you to step out of your comfort zone, to do things that challenge your confidence, that might trigger your insecurities, that don't necessarily feel good. But you know that along this pursuit, doing hard things like that can help you grow, can help build your character, can help steward your mentality really well. So when I tell you, consider what's in alignment with the things around you, I'm not talking about your comfort zone. I'm talking about things that just seem to be flowing and making sense and lighting a fire in you where it just seems like you are perfectly positioned. Even if you don't feel that way, maybe you don't feel like you're positioned or you feel like this is the right time or you have the right expertise. No, you're still perfectly positioned because of everything that's happening around you. The questions that people seem to be frequently asking you, the ideas that spark the most fire in you, the conversations that are naturally flowing, that position you. There is something there. Just pay attention to it. Get out of your mind of all of your passionate ideas and all the potential possibilities that God has for you and get hyper-focused. What could that thing be? Now, I want to end this episode today by saying one reminder that we all need. Once you get hyper-focused on that thing, do not give up. Keep going. I have to remind you about this because it is so easy to quit. When things get hard, when things start to feel like they're not making sense, when money isn't growing, when the success that we thought was going to be there really isn't, we just want to up and quit. Don't. If this is what God is calling you to do not give up. And just because God is calling you to do something doesn't mean that success is going to be right around the corner. No, it's not about your timing. It's God's timing. God will take you through as many hurdles and roadblocks and steps and years that needs to happen in order to make you into the person that He is calling you to be. And only God knows that. The only time that you should be quitting is if you do truly know or sense that God is pivoting you elsewhere into a different passion, a different opportunity, a different open door that maybe you expected, but maybe you didn't. Maybe it was a surprise. And if you sense that in your spirit, that is when the change should be made. Otherwise, my friend, keep going. A lot of times we quit too early. We quit on what God called us to do because we don't feel strong enough or it's too difficult or something's not right, something's not working. Just because something isn't working right now doesn't mean that it won't ever work. It just means that there are things to add or adjust, try, test, improve on, learn from, grow into so that it can work. Get more in that mentality rather than the mentality of, well, I guess I just got to give this up. Only do that, my friend, if you sense that God is actually calling you to do that. not your insecurities, not your fear, not your burnout. No, God, is He calling you to do that? Because there is a huge difference between the two. I know that it is so beautiful and creative to be multi-passionate. I'm the same way, so I relate to that. But please remember, just because you're multi-passionate now does not mean that you need to pursue all of those passions right now. What matters is what God is calling you to do right now in this season of your life, so that you can stop delaying it and instead walk fully in it. And all those other ideas and passions that you had, let God bring those back in the future, in the near future, if it is in alignment with what He wants you to do. I also want to add, you don't need to monetize every passion you have. I need to make that very clear. You can still be passionate about something and pursue it now or in the future, but have it not be a monetary thing. For example, I am so passionate about coaching. I love empowering people. I love lifting people up. But before, I was also passionate about music. I sing. So I was in the music industry for a little while and I tried to monetize off of it. Now, God has me viewing music differently. I sing for free because I want to. I sing for fun because I love to. So when it comes to that passion, right now, I'm not monetizing that. It's a passion that I just pursue because I love it. Versus another passion that I have, like coaching, that is being monetized, while at the same time being something that I love to do. So I want to put that out there as well. Think about that. When it comes to pursuing your life and your creative journey as a multi-passionate individual, and how you can get hyper-focused on what God is asking of you right now. Because your brain constantly thinking about all your ideas and all the things you could do at the same time right now, my friend, it could be delaying the one thing that God really needs you to be doing right now. It's time to get clear on that. Now, just to end this episode, if you are looking for more, my friend, more clarity, more confidence, more step-by-step strategy, and how you can take your God-given idea and turn it into a successful online business that impacts others and brings income in the door while you're at it, then I'd love to have you join our online community. Some exciting news we're dropping. This community was called the Burnout Free Biz Hub, and we recently rebranded it to be the Called Creator Circle. We wanted this to be more in alignment with the vision that God placed on our hearts and how we want to pour into creatives and entrepreneurs and dreamers like yourselves and work through their mental, emotional, and all the strategic stuff to do what God is calling you to do. So if that's you, I'd love to have you join. You'll get access to prayer calls and weekly workshops with me, and access to get feedback from me and the group on any pieces of content or business ideas that you're working on so that you can pursue this journey, not alone, but together. I would love to coach you. I'd love to help you and pour into you this very year, my friend. You can check out all those details in the description down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.